D Champ, intellectually stimulating. How are you? I want to talk to you about understanding family today. You see, the reason why people don't mess with groups of people is because they have families, economic, political, cultural families. If you say something about a certain group of people, Italians, Jews, Chinese, Mexicans, there's an economic impact. Say something about the Jews, it's because they have the money, supposedly. Okay? Something happened in California a couple of years ago. There was a revolt where all of the Mexican people walked off the jobs. They stopped doing all of their duties, and California pretty much came to a halt. Then they saw the need for economic diversity in all sectors. But it did not happen until there was a revolt and everyone walked off the job. Excuse me. You see, in the African American community, what would happen if they kill somebody? As we've seen, nothing. Because what power structure does the African American have? Political, racial, social, economic. You see, so that goes back to what the black woman says is they're the least protected. No, you're not protected because you have not gotten under the umbrella of family. Let's look at the Caucasian women. Let's look at the Chinese women, Indian women, Mexican women, women of different races and ethnicities. They subscribe and prescribe to the concept of family. And if something happens, their men protect them. But there is a certain way they act. You've seen in all the old mafia movies where the woman stays home and the man goes out of the house and handles the business. Therefore, if you mess with someone's family, that whole family comes after you. However, in the African American community, where is that? Where is the concept of family, togetherness? There must be a standard adhered to when you talk about family. It's the way you act. It's the way you present yourself. Let's talk about the Muslim religion. There is a way that their women dress. There is a way that they act, speak, etc. So you see, African American community, where is the concept of family? The man is the head of the family. There is no question. You've seen the Godfather movies. Who's the Godfather? He's the head of the organization, and he's also the head of the family. There is no question. He is. But there are so many women in the African American community that question authority. You question it. You question the man. You want to be the head. You want to be the boss. The same thing happened in Egypt. If you study your true lineage, the same thing happened in Egypt. So, ladies, there is a place that women need to stay in because that is the place of protection. That is the place of provision. That is how you're protected, because you have to say in your mind, my man is the boss. The men are the boss. You see, when other races of people say African American women, you have no covering, that means that you have not prescribed to the concept of family. And that means that you have no man as your covering, because you have to deserve it. You have to be the type of woman that a man says, okay, this is the type of woman that deserves my last name, my ring, my protection, and my provision. Just because you have a gun, ladies, does not mean you're protected. Now, we're talking about protection as a community, African American community. Where is our social protection? Where is our economic protection? Where is our political protection? So you see, the concept of family has many different meanings on many different levels. A family in your house, just as important. The child needs the man and the woman. The child needs the masculine and the feminine. Social. If a police officer shoots your neighbor's kid in the head, what will the African American community do? Political, Washington, D.C. Who's looking out for the political and the laws of the African American? I would say no one. So, on many different levels, African American community, we have no power. Do you understand it better now? So the concept of family is deep. It goes deep. You have to understand it on many different levels. So sisters, let me say this. FaMiLy. The title of this video is Understanding Family. When you understand family, you have to understand it from several different standpoints. You have to be able to wrap your head around the concept of family, social, economic, political, your own house. And if you have no head to your family, you have no covering. Therefore, you have no social, political, economic protection. But first, you have to subscribe and prescribe to the concept of family. Because like the Italians, like the Jewish, like the Germans, like the Russians, like the Chinese, like everybody else, they protect their own. However, you have to qualify for protection. Come on now, you've seen the old movies. They used to have to pay for protection. So, African American community, when I say understanding the concept of family, understand it on all of those levels and ask yourself, are you protected on every level? Because we have to be. Now you can possibly say, okay, well, we really do have a lot of work to do. Yes, we do. Because ancient Egypt, ancient Africa, they all had armies. Shaka Zulu army. All the ancient pharaohs of Egypt, huge trained armies. What do we have now? Understanding family is a deep concept. D-champ, intellectually stimulating. Have an amazing day.